Equipment financing in our industry is the funding of equipment that companies need to complete their missions. Basically, equipment that's needed for them to generate revenues or to reduce expenses by way of being more efficient. We founded Acrecent in 2003 when GE Capital moved up market. Basically, they decided to focus on large global institutions as customers, whereby leaving a void of servicing smaller and medium-sized businesses. Going to a bank because we're a specialist. We actually look at the use of the equipment they're going to give. We also see what the equipment is going to do for them, and we don't tie up other assets that they may have in their businesses where they could get funding at other times from banks actually for working capital. We basically focus our business in making sure that we finance only what they need to run their business. Business has been tough. We are just still going through a crisis. A crisis started, late in 2007. But I have to say, through the crisis, we have been able to fund many more companies that we did pre-crisis. Specifically, back at the end of 2007, we were servicing just north of 20 companies. Today, 5 years later, we are up to over 80 companies. Well, our vision is to become a regional player, not just to serve companies in Puerto Rico and Dominican Republic, but ideally to be the primary provider for small and medium-sized businesses of equipment financing in the Caribbean, Central America.
My name is Jose Maldonado, and I'm the owner of MN Aviation in San Juan, Puerto Rico. My company is a small airline. It's an on-demand air charter company. We basically have contracts with several government agencies. Plus, we do cargo, and then what's called on-demand work. It's people need us, we fly wherever their needs are. My relationship with Acrecent goes back to before Acrecent, and I met Mr. James Conner when he was on the staff at GE Capital. Several years later, he started Acrecent, and I moved on with him because of the service that he gave me while he was at GE Capital. He financed some of our equipment, and he financed some of our airplanes, and we continued that relationship.
Acrecent is a fantastic financing source. It is competitive. It might be slightly more expensive than some of the terms we get from the bank, but it gives us an additional alternative. And with a bank loan, you have to liquidate the entire loan at the end, whereas with an Acrecent loan, you can say, okay, we paid for the 4-year term. If we're not going to renew, you sell the equipment. And they're going to do well selling the equipment because they price the transaction. But it gives you more flexibility and alternative than you have in the historical, traditional financing sources.